Welcome back, American coin hunter. The 2001 United States 1-cent coin is one of those modern Lincoln cents that millions of people have handled without giving it much thought. Yet among coin collectors it continues to attract attention because of its history, its connection to one of America's longest-running coin series, and the possibility that certain examples with genuine mint errors can be worth significantly more than their face value. Although the overwhelming majority of 2001 pennies remain common circulation coins worth only 1 cent, a very small number displaying authentic minting mistakes have become desirable collectibles. Understanding why some coins are ordinary while others become valuable requires looking closely at how they were made, what materials were used, how the United States Mint produced them, and which types of mistakes occurred during the minting process. The Lincoln cent has been an important part of American coinage since 1909, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Before that year, American 1-cent coins featured the image of liberty rather than an actual historical figure. The decision to honor Abraham Lincoln marked the first time a real person appeared regularly on a circulating United States coin. Since then, generations of Americans have carried Lincoln cents in their pockets, used them in daily commerce, and saved special examples as keepsakes and collectibles. The 2001 Lincoln cent belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse Series, which was introduced in 1959. This reverse design replaced the famous wheat ears that had appeared on Lincoln cents from 1909 through 1958. On the reverse of the 2001 coin, the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly in the center, designed by Frank Gasparro. If examined carefully under magnification, Abraham Lincoln's tiny seated statue can actually be seen between the columns of the memorial. This remarkable detail is often considered one of the smallest portraits ever placed on a circulating United States coin. On the obverse appears Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. Above Lincoln's head is the word Liberty, while the date 2001 appears to the right. The national motto "In God We Trust" arches across the top of the coin. Depending upon where the coin was struck, a small mint mark may appear below the date. Coins struck in Philadelphia during 2001 have no mint mark, while those struck at the Denver Mint display the letter D. Proof coins produced for collectors at the San Francisco Mint bear the letter S. The specifications of the 2001 Lincoln cent remained consistent with cents produced since 1982. Each coin weighs approximately 2.50 grams, not 3.11 grams like the earlier bronze cents produced before the composition change. The coin measures approximately 19.05 millimeters in diameter and has a thickness of around 1.52 millimeters. Rather than being made of solid copper, the coin consists primarily of zinc with a thin outer layer of copper. Approximately 97.5% of the coin is zinc while only about 2.5% forms the copper plating. This change in composition was introduced because rising copper prices made it increasingly expensive to manufacture solid bronze cents. Many people mistakenly assume that every old penny must be valuable, but rarity depends on much more than age. A coin's condition, its mint mark, its strike quality, and especially the presence of genuine mint errors all influence its desirability. Millions upon millions of 2001 cents were produced. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck billions of examples, while the Denver Mint also produced an enormous quantity. As a result, ordinary circulated examples remain extremely common today. Collectors often begin searching through rolls of pennies because even among billions of coins, small numbers escaped quality control with unusual minting mistakes. These genuine errors occurred during various stages of production and can transform an otherwise common coin into an item eagerly sought by specialists. One of the most popular error categories involves off-center strikes. During the striking process, a blank planchette must be positioned perfectly between the dies. If the planchette shifts before being struck, only part of the design appears on the finished coin. Depending upon how far off center the strike is, part of the coin may remain blank while the rest shows the design normally. If the date remains visible, collectors generally value these coins more highly because the year can still be identified. Another fascinating error involves broad strikes. Normally, a retaining collar surrounds the blank planchette during striking, helping create the raised rim and ensuring the proper diameter. If the collar fails to function correctly, the coin expands outward under tremendous striking pressure, producing a coin that is wider than normal with little or no raised rim. Such pieces immediately stand out from ordinary cents. Die cracks represent another common, but collectible variety. During repeated use, steel dies gradually develop stress fractures, caused by the tremendous pressure involved in striking millions of coins. When metal flows into these cracks, raised lines appear on the finished coin. Small die cracks are relatively common, while larger dramatic cracks extending across much of the coin can command stronger collector interest. Die chips occur when tiny fragments break away from the die. The missing portion creates raised blobs or bumps on the finished coin because metal fills the cavity left behind. Depending on the size and location, these raised areas can produce unusual appearances that attract collectors searching through circulation finds. A retained cud develops when a larger section of the die begins separating but remains partially attached. Even more dramatic is a full cud error, where a broken section of the die falls away completely. Metal flows into the missing area during striking, creating a raised, irregular mass on the coin's edge. Large cud errors are among the more dramatic die-related mistakes and often receive considerable attention. Clipped planchette errors occur before striking even begins. During the process of punching round blanks from long metal strips, one blank may overlap another slightly, leaving part of the future coin missing. The resulting clipped planchette often displays a smooth curved section where metal was absent before striking. Because these errors occur during blank preparation rather than during striking, they are considered genuine mint mistakes. Lamination errors develop when impurities or structural weaknesses exist within the metal itself. Portions of the coin's surface may peel, flake, or separate either during striking or later through circulation. Since the plating on modern cents is extremely thin, distinguishing between genuine lamination errors and post-mint damage requires careful examination. Another error occasionally found involves improper plating. Because modern Lincoln cents consist primarily of zinc covered by a thin layer of copper, plating defects sometimes occur. Areas may appear missing, blistered, rough, or uneven. While environmental damage can create similar appearances, authenticated plating errors resulting directly from the minting process attract collector interest. Double strikes provide another fascinating category. These occur when a coin receives more than one strike from the dies. If the coin shifts between strikes, portions of the design may overlap or appear duplicated. Dramatic double strikes are relatively scarce and often command substantial premiums depending on their appearance. Multiple strikes outside the collar create even more unusual pieces. In these cases, a coin may receive several impressions while moving between strikes, producing highly distorted designs. Such spectacular mint errors often become centerpieces of advanced collections. Collectors also search carefully for double dies, one of the most famous error categories in American numismatics. A double die originates during die creation rather than during striking. Certain design elements appear doubled because of slight misalignment during the hubbing process used to create the working die. True double dies are distinct from ordinary machine doubling, which generally carries much lower collector value. Machine doubling occurs during the striking process when the die shifts slightly under pressure, creating a shelf-like secondary image. Beginners sometimes mistake this for a valuable double die, but experienced collectors know the difference. Genuine double dies display rounded, fully formed secondary images, while machine doubling usually appears flat and shelf-like. Die deterioration doubling presents another challenge for collectors. As dies wear through extensive use, design details may spread or distort. Although interesting to study, this form of doubling usually results from normal die wear rather than a true hubbing variety, and therefore carries much lower premiums. The condition of a 2001 Lincoln cent plays a major role in determining collector interest. Coins that spent years circulating through commerce often display scratches, worn surfaces, dull coloration, and numerous contact marks. In contrast, uncirculated examples retain their original mint luster, sharp details, and bright appearance. Professional grading services carefully examine every aspect of preservation before assigning a numerical grade. The Sheldon grading scale ranges from poor 1 through mint state 70. A coin graded MS-60 may remain uncirculated but exhibit numerous marks, while an MS-65 example possesses stronger eye appeal with fewer distractions. Coins reaching MS-67 or MS-68 become significantly scarcer because maintaining nearly flawless surfaces during mass production is extremely difficult. Even without errors, exceptionally high-grade examples may bring premiums simply because so few survive in pristine condition. Professional authentication becomes especially important when evaluating possible mint errors. Experienced experts distinguish genuine mint-produced varieties from alterations, damage, corrosion, environmental effects, and mechanical injuries that occurred after the coin left the mint. This careful examination protects collectors from purchasing damaged coins mistakenly represented as valuable errors. Many beginning collectors first become interested in coin collecting after hearing stories about rare pennies discovered in pocket change. While sensational claims often circulate online, experienced numismatists rely on documented auction records, certified examples, and careful research rather than exaggerated price claims. Genuine rarity results from a combination of limited surviving examples, strong collector demand, and verified authenticity rather than rumors or unsupported estimates. For many collectors, the excitement lies not only in the potential financial reward, but also in the thrill of discovering something unusual hidden among ordinary coins. Searching rolls from banks, examining inherited collections, or inspecting change received during everyday purchases has introduced countless people to the fascinating hobby of numismatics, where even a seemingly ordinary 2001 Lincoln cent can reveal an unexpected story through its design, production, or genuine mint error. Every coin begins its journey long before it reaches the hands of the public. The production of a 2001 Lincoln cent started with enormous coils of zinc that were manufactured to precise specifications. These coils were fed into specialized machinery that punched out perfectly round metal blanks known as planchets. Each planchette then passed through a series of quality control procedures intended to ensure that only properly prepared blanks moved forward to the striking presses. Even with modern technology, however, the process of manufacturing billions of coins every year leaves room for occasional mistakes, and those mistakes are what create many of the collectible era coins sought by numismatists today. After the blank planchets were punched from the metal strip, they entered an annealing furnace, where they were heated to soften the metal. This heat treatment allowed the planchets to accept the designs from the dies more completely during striking. Once removed from the furnace, the planchets were cleaned, dried, and polished before entering another machine that formed their raised rims. This upsetting process created a narrow border around each blank, preparing it for the tremendous pressure that would later force the designs into the metal. The striking stage is perhaps the most fascinating part of coin production. A planchette is automatically fed between two engraved steel dies. Under immense pressure, sometimes exceeding dozens of tons, the dies impress every detail of the design into the metal in a fraction of a second. The finished coin is then ejected from the press, and another blank immediately takes its place. Modern presses can strike hundreds of coins every minute, allowing the United States Mint to produce billions of cents annually. Because the machinery operates at such incredible speed, even the smallest mechanical problem can produce unusual coins before operators notice the issue. A die may crack, a collar may malfunction, a planchette may be fed improperly, or debris may become trapped between the die and the coin. These events produce genuine mint errors that differ dramatically from ordinary wear or damage received after the coin enters circulation. One of the more interesting errors involves a struck-through coin. This occurs when a foreign object such as grease, cloth fibers, metal shavings, or other debris becomes trapped between the die and the planchette. The object prevents part of the design from transferring completely onto the coin. Depending on the material involved, the resulting impression may appear smooth, rough, shallow, or unusually shaped. Since the obstruction existed during striking, these coins represent authentic mint errors rather than post-mint damage. Grease-filled dies are another source of unusual appearances. As dies continue striking coins throughout the day, grease and tiny metal particles can accumulate inside recessed portions of the design. When enough grease fills these areas, portions of the design fail to strike fully onto the coin. Letters may appear weak or missing altogether. Collectors often encounter cents with partially missing numbers, incomplete lettering, or faint design elements caused by grease-filled dies. Die polishing can also create collectible varieties. When mint employees attempt to extend the useful life of a working die, they sometimes polish away clash marks or surface damage. Excessive polishing may remove portions of the engraved design itself, producing coins with noticeably weakened letters, missing details, or altered features. Specialists frequently study these die states because they document the life cycle of individual dies. Die clashes occur when the press cycles without a planchette positioned between the dies. Instead of striking a coin, the dies strike each other directly. Since each die contains the opposite design, portions of one design may become impressed into the opposing die. Subsequent coins struck by the damaged dies may display faint outlines of the opposite side's design in unusual locations. These clash marks often intrigue collectors who enjoy studying minting technology. Another remarkable category involves rotated die errors. Normally, the obverse and reverse dies are aligned precisely so that when a coin is flipped vertically, both sides appear upright. If one die rotates before or during production, the resulting coins show an incorrect alignment. Minor rotations are fairly common, but significant rotations of 90 degrees or even 180 degrees become much scarcer and more valuable. Some collectors spend years searching for wrong planchette errors. These occur when a blank intended for another denomination accidentally enters the cent production line. Imagine a cent design struck on a dime blank or another foreign planchette. Such mistakes are extremely rare because the mint maintains strict quality control procedures. When authenticated, wrong planchette errors often command substantial premiums because of their rarity and dramatic appearance. Off-metal strikes represent another exciting possibility. Since different denominations use different metallic compositions, an incorrect planchette produces a coin with unusual color, weight, diameter, or thickness. Professional grading services carefully measure these characteristics to verify authenticity before assigning certification. The composition of the 2001 Lincoln cent contributes to some unique characteristics. Since the coin consists mainly of zinc covered by a thin copper layer, damage exposing the zinc core often appears gray or silver in color. Beginners sometimes mistake these damaged coins for valuable mint errors, but experienced collectors know that post-mint scratches, corrosion, or environmental exposure frequently remove portions of the copper plating. Genuine plating errors generally display smooth transitions and characteristics consistent with the minting process rather than random damage. The weight of an authentic 2001 Lincoln cent should be approximately 2.50 grams. Collectors frequently use sensitive digital scales capable of measuring to 1/100th of a gram when examining possible errors. Significant deviations from the standard weight may indicate an off-metal strike, a wrong planchette, or another unusual minting event. However, slight differences caused by normal manufacturing tolerances are expected and do not necessarily indicate rarity. Color also plays an important role in evaluating Lincoln cents. Newly struck examples display bright orange-red surfaces that gradually darken over time through oxidation and circulation. Professional grading services classify copper coins into 3 color designations: red, red-brown, and brown. Fully red examples retaining nearly all of their original mint color often command stronger prices than similarly graded brown examples, because the original appearance is much harder to preserve. Storage conditions greatly influence how well a coin maintains its original appearance. Exposure to moisture, humidity, chemicals, fingerprints, and fluctuating temperatures can accelerate discoloration or corrosion. Collectors therefore store valuable coins in protective holders, capsules, archival quality flips, or certified slabs that minimize environmental exposure. Counterfeit error coins unfortunately exist within the marketplace. Some individuals intentionally alter ordinary cents by filing, grinding, heating, bending, drilling, or otherwise modifying them to imitate genuine mint errors. Others glue together 2 coins, remove mint marks, or artificially create doubling effects. Because of these deceptive practices, certification by respected third-party grading companies becomes especially valuable when dealing with expensive error coins. Experienced collectors examine many characteristics before purchasing an error coin. They study strike quality, metal flow, die state, surface texture, luster, rim formation, and countless other details. Genuine mint errors follow predictable patterns consistent with the mechanical operation of the coining press, while altered coins usually reveal evidence of human intervention. Coin grading itself requires years of practice. Tiny differences in luster, contact marks, strike sharpness, eye appeal, and preservation can significantly influence the assigned grade. Under magnification, graders inspect every portion of the coin's surface, noting abrasions, hairlines, discoloration, and other characteristics that affect value. Although billions of 2001 cents entered circulation, relatively few survive in perfect condition because coins immediately begin acquiring marks as they move through counting machines, storage bags, transportation systems, banks, and cash registers. Even before entering circulation, contact between newly struck coins inside large mint bags produces tiny abrasions known as bag marks. Some collectors specialize exclusively in finding high-grade modern Lincoln cents. They search unopened mint sets, original bank rolls, and mint-sealed bags hoping to discover coins worthy of exceptional mint state grades. An ordinary 2001 cent in circulated condition may be worth only face value, while a superb gem preserved exactly as it left the mint can command a much higher premium among registry set competitors. Registry collecting has become increasingly popular during the past few decades. Certified grading companies allow collectors to assemble complete sets online, comparing grades with other collectors around the world. Because only a limited number of coins achieve the highest certified grades, competition among registry participants sometimes drives prices well above what many casual collectors might expect. Auction records demonstrate that quality often matters more than age. A pristine modern coin certified at an extremely high grade may sell for hundreds, or even thousands of dollars, while a heavily worn 19th century coin might sell for far less if it is common. This principle surprises many newcomers, who assume that older automatically means more valuable. Mint marks also influence collector interest. Philadelphia produced 2001 cents carry no mint mark, following long-standing tradition for most Philadelphia's circulating coinage. Denver issues display the letter D below the date, while proof coins struck in San Francisco bear the S mint mark. Proof coins differ from ordinary circulation strikes because they are specially manufactured for collectors using polished dies and carefully prepared planchets. Their mirror-like fields and frosted design elements create an especially attractive appearance. Proof coins can also exhibit mint errors, although they are generally much scarcer, because of the additional quality control procedures used during their production. Error-proof cents attract considerable attention whenever authenticated because relatively few escape the mint's inspection process. Roll searching remains one of the most enjoyable ways to hunt for valuable Lincoln cents. Many collectors purchase boxes of pennies from local banks, carefully examining every coin under magnification before returning ordinary examples and keeping interesting finds. This inexpensive approach allows hobbyists to search thousands of coins while developing valuable identification skills. Magnification tools vary widely depending upon the collector's experience and budget. A simple 5x or 10x loupe often proves sufficient for examining dates, mint marks, and obvious errors. More advanced collectors may use stereo microscopes, providing much greater detail when studying die varieties, double dies, or tiny surface characteristics. Lighting is equally important during examination. Bright white light directed from multiple angles reveals luster, die cracks, doubling, and surface imperfections that might remain hidden under poor illumination. Rotating the coin slowly while observing changing reflections often exposes features invisible from a single viewing angle. Patience remains one of the greatest qualities possessed by successful coin collectors. Finding a significant error coin may require searching through tens of thousands of ordinary cents. Yet each roll examined increases both experience and the possibility of making an exciting discovery. Many remarkable finds have been made by collectors willing to invest time learning the characteristics of genuine mint errors and carefully studying every coin that passes through their hands. For this reason, the 2001 Lincoln cent continues to attract interest more than 2 decades after it was minted. While most examples remain ordinary circulation coins, authenticated error pieces, exceptional high-grade survivors, and unusual die varieties continue to remind collectors that even among billions of seemingly identical coins, genuine rarities can still emerge through careful observation, knowledge, and persistence. The fascination surrounding the 2001 Lincoln cent continues because every genuine mint error tells the story of a brief mechanical event that occurred inside one of the world's most advanced coin-producing facilities. A fraction of a second was often all it took for a small malfunction to create a coin unlike millions of others produced that same day. Once those unusual pieces entered circulation, they became part of everyday commerce, passing unnoticed through cash registers, vending machines, banks, and countless hands before eventually being discovered by collectors who recognized something different about them. Many experienced collectors recommend examining every 2001 cent carefully because even common dates can produce uncommon discoveries. While the date itself is not considered rare, the combination of a desirable error and excellent preservation can dramatically increase collector demand. This is why so many hobbyists continue searching rolls of pennies decades after these coins first entered circulation. One of the first characteristics collectors inspect is the overall strike quality. A sharply struck coin displays crisp lettering, fully defined details in Lincoln's hair, distinct bow tie lines, and clear architectural features on the Lincoln Memorial. Weaker strikes may show softer details, especially in areas where the dies failed to transfer every element completely into the metal. Weak strikes are usually not considered errors unless caused by a specific minting problem, such as insufficient striking pressure or improperly adjusted equipment. The copper plating applied to modern Lincoln cents creates another area of interest. Because the copper layer is extremely thin, only a few thousandths of an inch thick, imperfections sometimes develop during manufacturing. Tiny bubbles, incomplete coverage, or irregular surfaces may occasionally appear. Distinguishing genuine plating defects from later environmental damage requires careful examination, under magnification, and, in many cases, professional authentication. Environmental damage is one of the greatest challenges facing beginning collectors. Zinc core cents are particularly susceptible to corrosion if the protective copper layer becomes damaged. Exposure to moisture can produce bubbling, blistering, discoloration, or rough surfaces that may resemble mint errors to inexperienced observers. Learning to recognize the difference between damage and genuine mint-made characteristics is an important part of becoming a knowledgeable collector. Cleaning is another factor that significantly affects a coin's desirability. Many people believe polishing an old penny will increase its value because it appears brighter afterward. In reality, cleaning usually reduces collector value by permanently altering the coin's original surface. Professional graders can often identify cleaned coins immediately by the unnatural hairline scratches, altered luster, or artificial brightness left behind. For this reason, collectors generally recommend leaving coins exactly as they are found. Original mint luster remains one of the most desirable characteristics on any uncirculated Lincoln cent. When a freshly struck coin reflects light, it displays a distinctive cartwheel effect that rotates across the surface as the coin is tilted. This natural brilliance gradually disappears through handling and circulation. Coins retaining full original luster after many years are much scarcer than ordinary circulated examples. The 2001 Lincoln cent was produced during a period when the United States Mint had already adopted highly efficient automated manufacturing systems. These technological improvements reduced the number of dramatic mint errors compared to earlier decades. Nevertheless, no manufacturing process is completely perfect, and occasional mistakes still escaped into circulation despite rigorous quality control procedures. Collectors often organize error coins according to the stage of production in which the mistake occurred. Planchet errors happen before striking begins. Die errors originate from flaws or damage affecting the steel dies. Strike errors occur while the coin is actually being struck. Post-strike handling errors occurring inside the mint can also produce unusual pieces before the coins are packaged and shipped. Blank planchets occasionally receive attention from collectors as well. These are coin blanks that somehow escape the mint before receiving any design at all. Since they have passed through part of the manufacturing process but remain unstamped, they provide an interesting glimpse into coin production. Genuine blank planchets must be authenticated because smooth metal discs can easily be fabricated outside the mint. Another fascinating category involves partial collar strikes, sometimes referred to as railroad rim errors. During normal striking, the collar surrounds the planchet completely, forming the raised rim. If the collar fails to engage properly, only part of the coin develops a normal rim, while another section expands outward. The resulting appearance often resembles the edge of railroad tracks, giving the error its popular nickname. Edge abnormalities can reveal valuable information about how a coin was struck. Although Lincoln cents have plain edges rather than reeded edges like dimes or quarters, irregularities around the rim may indicate striking problems, collar malfunctions, or planchet preparation issues. Careful inspection of the edge often helps determine whether unusual features originated at the mint or resulted from later damage. Metal flow lines also attract advanced collectors. During striking, the metal moves rapidly outward from the center toward the rim under tremendous pressure. These microscopic flow lines contribute to the coin's characteristic mint luster. Disturbances in this flow pattern may provide evidence of die wear, polishing, or other production characteristics useful for identifying specific die states. Some specialists devote entire collections to die varieties. Every working die gradually changes as it produces more coins. Small cracks develop, polishing removes tiny details, clash marks appear, and wear slowly alters the design. By studying these progressive changes, collectors can sometimes identify exactly which die struck a particular coin and estimate where it falls within that die's lifespan. Photography has become an increasingly important tool in modern numismatics. High-resolution digital cameras combined with specialized lighting allow collectors to document tiny varieties and compare them with published references. Online communities regularly share photographs of unusual finds, helping others identify similar coins and expanding collective knowledge about known die varieties. The Internet has also transformed the way collectors research 2001 Lincoln cents. Auction archives, grading population reports, educational websites, and online forums provide access to information that once required extensive library research. Collectors can compare their discoveries with certified examples, learn about newly identified varieties, and follow market trends more easily than ever before. Professional grading companies maintain population reports showing how many examples of particular dates have been certified at each grade. Although these reports do not represent every surviving coin, they provide valuable insight into relative rarity at the highest grade levels. Sometimes only a handful of 2001 Lincoln cents receive the very highest grades, making them particularly desirable among registry set collectors. Demand plays an equally important role in determining value. Even a rare coin may remain relatively inexpensive if few collectors seek it, while a more common variety can command strong prices when collector demand is exceptionally high. Lincoln cents benefit from one of the largest collector bases in American numismatics, ensuring continued interest in significant varieties and genuine mint eras. Market prices fluctuate over time depending upon economic conditions, collector preferences, and the number of certified examples available. A spectacular mint era that sells for several $1,000s at one auction may bring a different amount years later depending upon demand at that time. For this reason, experienced collectors rely on recent auction results rather than outdated price guides when estimating value. Stories occasionally circulate online claiming that an ordinary 2001 penny is worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars simply because of its date. Such claims should always be approached with caution. Extraordinary values require extraordinary evidence. Authentic record-setting coins achieve their prices because of documented rarity, certified authenticity, outstanding preservation, and competitive bidding between knowledgeable collectors rather than unsupported internet rumors. The most valuable 2001 Lincoln cents are generally those combining several desirable characteristics at once. A dramatic, authenticated mint era preserved in exceptional mint state condition will usually attract much stronger interest than either an ordinary high-grade coin or a minor era in heavily circulated condition. The combination of rarity, condition, eye appeal, and collector demand ultimately determines market value. Collectors often submit promising coins to third-party grading services for authentication and encapsulation. Once certified, the coin is sealed inside a protective holder displaying its date, mint mark, grade, and any recognized era designation. Certification increases buyer confidence and makes the coin easier to sell because its authenticity has been independently verified. Insurance also becomes important for valuable collections. Although most individual 2001 Lincoln cents remain inexpensive, collections containing rare era coins or exceptional certified examples may represent significant financial investments. Proper storage, documentation, and insurance coverage help protect these collections from theft, fire, flooding, or accidental damage. Educational organizations encourage collectors to continue learning through books, seminars, coin clubs, and exhibitions. Examining authenticated examples in person provides valuable experience that cannot always be gained from photographs alone. Many advanced collectors willingly share their knowledge with beginners, strengthening the hobby and encouraging responsible collecting practices. One of the greatest appeals of collecting Lincoln cents is accessibility. Unlike many rare coins requiring substantial financial investment, searching for interesting Lincoln cents can begin with ordinary pocket change. A simple magnifying glass, a good reference guide, and patience are often enough to begin developing valuable identification skills. Every roll searched becomes an educational experience, even when no major rarity is found. For many collectors, the excitement comes from the possibility that an overlooked treasure may still be hiding in circulation after all these years. While genuine major mint eras remain scarce, they continue to surface from old collections, bank rolls, inherited jars of coins, estate sales, and forgotten containers stored away for decades. Each new discovery adds another chapter to the long and fascinating history of the Lincoln cent series, reminding collectors that careful observation, accurate knowledge, and patience remain the most valuable tools in the search for truly exceptional coins. The story of the 2001 Lincoln cent ultimately reflects the remarkable journey of one of America's most recognizable coins. From the moment raw metal entered the mint, as large coils of zinc, to the instant finished cents rolled off high-speed coining presses, every stage of production required extraordinary precision. Billions of coins were manufactured to nearly identical specifications, yet the occasional mechanical imperfection created a small number of pieces that would later capture the attention of collectors across the United States and around the world. These unusual coins remind us that even the most advanced manufacturing systems are capable of producing fascinating variations that become part of numismatic history. As years passed, countless 2001 Lincoln cents disappeared into circulation. They traveled through grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, banks, vending machines, parking meters, cash registers, and piggy banks. Many became worn almost beyond recognition after years of everyday use, while others remained hidden inside original mint rolls, collector albums, and family coin jars where they preserved much of their original appearance. Because billions were struck, ordinary examples continue to be easy to find, yet this abundance makes the discovery of a genuine era even more exciting. Many collectors develop the habit of examining every Lincoln cent they receive in change. Most coins quickly return to circulation, but occasionally one displays an unusual characteristic that deserves closer inspection. The excitement of finding an off-center strike, clipped planchette, broad strike, dramatic die crack, cud, double die, or another legitimate mint error, is one of the reasons Lincoln cent collecting remains one of the most popular areas of American numismatics. The 2001 cent demonstrates that rarity is not determined solely by age. Although much older coins certainly exist, many survive in large numbers because collectors preserved them from the beginning. By contrast, a modern coin with an authenticated mint error may be far scarcer than an ordinary 19th century coin. The relationship between rarity, condition, demand, and authenticity determines market value far more accurately than age alone. Advanced collectors often build specialized collections devoted entirely to mint errors. Rather than assembling one example from every date, they focus on acquiring representative examples of different error categories. A collection may include off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die caps, multiple strikes, struck through errors, die clashes, retained cuds, rotated dies, wrong planchette strikes, and other unusual production mistakes. Such collections illustrate the complexity of the minting process while preserving important examples of manufacturing history. Error attribution has become increasingly sophisticated as technology has advanced. High-resolution digital photography, precision microscopes, accurate electronic scales, X-ray fluorescence analysis, and computerized imaging all help specialists authenticate unusual coins. These scientific methods provide evidence that supports or disproves claims about a coin's origin and greatly reduce the possibility of misidentification. Educational research continues to improve our understanding of Lincoln cent production. Specialists compare thousands of certified examples, document newly discovered die varieties, and publish reference materials describing known errors in remarkable detail. Each authenticated discovery contributes additional knowledge to the hobby and helps future collectors identify similar coins more accurately. One important lesson learned by experienced collectors is that patience usually produces better results than impulse purchases. Many counterfeit or altered coins appear convincing in online photographs, especially when offered with sensational claims of enormous value. Taking time to study reference materials, compare certified examples, and seek expert opinions before making expensive purchases helps collectors avoid costly mistakes. Auction houses occasionally feature extraordinary Lincoln cent errors that attract international attention. Dramatic wrong planchette strikes, spectacular multiple strikes, major off-center examples retaining full dates, and exceptionally preserved double dies often generate competitive bidding among serious collectors. These auction results establish documented market values supported by actual sales rather than speculation. Condition remains one of the most important factors affecting desirability. Two identical era coins may differ greatly in value simply because one has been carefully preserved while the other has suffered years of heavy circulation. Original luster, clean surfaces, minimal contact marks, and strong eye appeal all contribute to higher collector demand. Eye appeal, though somewhat subjective, plays a surprisingly significant role in the marketplace. Collectors often prefer coins with attractive natural color, balanced toning, sharp strikes, and pleasing overall appearance. Even when technical grades are identical, the more visually appealing coin frequently commands the stronger price, because collectors enjoy owning beautiful examples. Natural toning develops as copper reacts gradually with the surrounding environment. Depending on storage conditions, original red surfaces may slowly transform into shades of orange, brown, violet, blue, or other subtle colors. Attractive natural toning is appreciated by many collectors, while artificial toning created through chemical treatments generally reduces desirability. The popularity of Lincoln cents also stems from their accessibility. Nearly everyone has handled pennies during everyday life, making the series familiar even to people with little knowledge of numismatics. This familiarity encourages many beginners to start collecting Lincoln cents because examples are inexpensive, widely available, and historically significant. Parents and grandparents often introduce children to coin collecting by encouraging them to search through pocket change for unusual Lincoln cents. This simple activity teaches observation skills, patience, history, economics, and an appreciation for craftsmanship. Many lifelong collectors trace their interest back to childhood experiences searching jars of pennies with family members. The history represented by the Lincoln cent extends far beyond its monetary value. Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most respected figures in American history, remembered for preserving the Union during the Civil War and for his role in ending slavery. Every Lincoln cent serves as a miniature historical monument that has circulated through American society for generations. The reverse design featuring the Lincoln Memorial remained in production from 1959 through 2008, before being replaced by special bicentennial designs in 2009 and later by the Union Shield reverse beginning in 2010. Because the 2001 cent belongs to the final decade of the Memorial series, it represents an important period in the long evolution of the Lincoln cent. Collectors assembling complete date and mint sets include examples from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco whenever applicable. Some pursue only circulation strikes, while others expand their collections to include proof coins, certified varieties, major errors, and transitional pieces. The flexibility of the series allows collectors to participate regardless of budget. Professional conservation should only be performed when absolutely necessary and by qualified experts. Improper cleaning, polishing, dipping, or restoration attempts frequently cause permanent damage that cannot be reversed. Experienced numismatists almost universally recommend leaving coins in their original condition unless professional advice indicates otherwise. Documentation also adds value to significant discoveries. Recording where and when an unusual coin was found, photographing it before submission for grading, and maintaining auction records or certification information all contribute to its history. Provenance sometimes becomes an interesting aspect of especially important coins. The future of Lincoln cent collecting remains bright despite changing economic conditions and discussions about the long-term production of the 1 cent denomination. Millions of collectors continue searching circulation, studying die varieties, participating in coin clubs, attending conventions, and preserving examples for future generations. Whether or not new cents continue to be produced indefinitely, the historical importance of existing Lincoln cents is firmly established. For anyone examining a 2001 Lincoln cent, careful observation remains the most valuable skill. Look for unusual strike characteristics, complete design details, original surfaces, authentic mint errors, and signs of exceptional preservation. Use a quality magnifier, weigh suspicious examples accurately, compare them with reliable reference photographs, and seek professional authentication before assuming extraordinary value. It is also important to maintain realistic expectations. While genuine error coins can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their rarity and condition, there is no verified evidence that an ordinary or error 2001 Lincoln cent has a market value of $270 million. The highest values in numismatics are reserved for exceptionally rare, historically significant, and thoroughly authenticated coins that have established records through major auctions and recognized grading services. Even so, the possibility of discovering an authentic mint error continues to inspire collectors every day. A coin overlooked by thousands of people may eventually be recognized by someone with the knowledge to identify its significance. That possibility keeps the search alive and explains why Lincoln cents remain among the most widely collected coins in the world. The 2001 Lincoln cent is therefore much more than a single penny. It represents American history, advanced manufacturing, the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, decades of everyday commerce, and the enduring appeal of coin collecting. Whether found in pocket change, preserved in an original mint set, discovered in an old family collection, or authenticated as a genuine mint error, each example has its own story. For collectors, every coin examined offers another opportunity to learn, another chance to make an exciting discovery, and another reminder that even the smallest denomination in American currency can hold historical importance and genuine collectible value when rarity, authenticity, condition, and documented demand come together. As the journey of the 2001 Lincoln cent comes to its conclusion, it becomes clear that this small copper-plated zinc coin represents far more than its face value of 1 cent. Every example struck during 2001 carries with it the craftsmanship of the United States Mint, the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and more than a century of American coinage history. While billions of these coins entered circulation and continue to pass unnoticed from one person to another, a tiny fraction possesses characteristics that make them genuinely collectible. These special coins are not valuable because of rumors, exaggerated internet stories, or unrealistic claims, but because authentic minting errors, exceptional preservation, and documented rarity create real demand among collectors. One of the greatest lessons in numismatics is that knowledge is always more valuable than speculation. Experienced collectors understand that every unusual-looking coin should be studied carefully before conclusions are reached. A scratch may appear dramatic, but simply be post-mint damage. A weak letter may result from grease filling the die rather than wear. A doubled image might be machine doubling instead of a true doubled die. Distinguishing between these possibilities requires patience, magnification, reliable references, and often professional authentication. For the 2001 Lincoln cent, some of the most desirable authentic errors include significant off-center strikes with the full date visible, broad strikes, clipped planchets, dramatic die cracks, retained cuds, major struck-through errors, multiple strikes, rotated dies, wrong planchette strikes, and certified double dies or other recognized die varieties. These are the kinds of errors that experienced collectors actively seek because they represent genuine mistakes made during the minting process. Condition remains equally important. A heavily worn error coin may still be collectible, but an uncirculated example displaying full original mint luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks will generally attract much stronger collector interest. This explains why grading plays such an important role in today's marketplace. Third-party grading companies provide independent opinions regarding authenticity and condition, giving buyers and sellers greater confidence during transactions. The original appearance of a coin should always be preserved whenever possible. Cleaning, polishing, rubbing, chemical treatments, or abrasive methods almost always reduce collector value. Even if the coin appears brighter afterward, the original surface has been permanently altered. Collectors consistently prefer coins that remain untouched because they retain the natural characteristics created at the mint. Storage also determines how well a coin survives through the years. Humidity, fingerprints, dust, chemicals, and improper handling gradually damage even the finest coins. Using inert holders, capsules, or professionally certified holders helps preserve both appearance and value for future generations. Many collectors dream of discovering a rare coin worth a fortune while searching through ordinary pocket change. Although such discoveries are uncommon, they do happen from time to time. Valuable coins continue to emerge from inherited collections, old bank rolls, estate sales, forgotten piggy banks, and jars that have remained untouched for decades. Every discovery reminds collectors that remarkable finds are still possible for those willing to study carefully and remain patient. The popularity of Lincoln cents has remained remarkably strong because the series offers something for everyone. Beginners can assemble date and mint collections using inexpensive circulated coins. Intermediate collectors can search for better condition examples and interesting die varieties. Advanced numismatists may specialize in major mint eras, top population certified coins, or extensive die state research. This flexibility has helped make the Lincoln cent one of the most collected coin series in the world. Technology continues to improve the hobby as well. Digital microscopes, online auction archives, grading population reports, educational videos, specialized books, and collector forums have made information more accessible than ever before. A collector studying a 2001 Lincoln cent today has resources available that previous generations could scarcely imagine. The educational value of collecting should never be overlooked. Every coin teaches lessons about American history, economics, metallurgy, engineering, manufacturing, politics, and art. A single Lincoln cent can inspire curiosity about Abraham Lincoln, the history of the United States Mint, the evolution of coin designs, changes in metal composition, and the complex machinery used to manufacture billions of coins every year. The Lincoln portrait created by Victor David Brenner remains one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Since its introduction in 1909, it has survived numerous changes in reverse designs, metallic composition, production methods, and collecting trends. The 2001 issue represents one chapter in that continuing story, linking modern collectors with more than a century of American numismatic tradition. Although billions of 2001 cents were produced, each individual coin has followed its own unique path. Some circulated for years before being lost or discarded. Others remained hidden inside collections, preserving their original brilliance. A few developed attractive natural toning. An even smaller number left the mint bearing genuine errors that transformed ordinary coins into desirable collectibles. Every surviving example has a story shaped by time, handling, and circumstance. When evaluating any 2001 Lincoln cent, collectors should remember several important points. Verify the weight, examine the surfaces under proper lighting, inspect the rims carefully, compare suspected varieties with trusted references, avoid cleaning the coin, and seek professional authentication for any potentially significant error. These simple steps greatly increase the likelihood of making accurate identifications. Realistic expectations are essential. Ordinary circulated 2001 Lincoln cents generally remain worth face value. Attractive uncirculated examples carry modest collector premiums. Certified high-grade coins become considerably more valuable due to their scarcity. Genuine authenticated mint errors can range from tens or hundreds of dollars to several $1,000s depending on the type of error, rarity, eye appeal, and grade. These documented values are supported by actual collector demand and auction sales rather than unsupported speculation. Claims that an ordinary 2001 penny is worth $270 million are not supported by verified numismatic evidence or auction records. The most valuable coins in the world achieve extraordinary prices because they are unique or nearly unique historical artifacts with impeccable provenance, not because they are common modern cents. Understanding this distinction helps collectors focus on genuine opportunities rather than sensational headlines. Perhaps the greatest reward in collecting is not financial gain, but the satisfaction of learning, discovering, and preserving pieces of history. Every coin examined increases experience. Every reference book read improves knowledge. Every conversation with fellow collectors expands understanding. Whether a search results in an extraordinary era coin or simply another ordinary cent, the process itself continues to educate and inspire. The 2001 Lincoln cent remains an enduring reminder that remarkable stories can exist within the smallest everyday objects. It reflects the precision of modern minting technology, the enduring respect for one of America's greatest presidents, and the enthusiasm of generations of collectors who continue searching for hidden treasures. While only a small percentage of these coins possess significant collectible value, every authentic mint era discovered adds another fascinating chapter to the history of American coinage. For future collectors, the message is simple: examine carefully, study continuously, protect your coins properly, rely on verified information, and enjoy the search. The next remarkable discovery could be waiting in an old coin jar, a bank roll, a forgotten collection, or even in the change received after an ordinary purchase. That possibility is what keeps the excitement of numismatics alive and ensures that the humble 2001 Lincoln cent will continue to capture the imagination of collectors for many years to come.